Attorney for the District of Columbia, Joe DeGeneva, and former Deputy Assistant Attorney General Victoria Tunsing, Fox News contributor Sarah Carter. Joe, we will begin with you and where we are today, because I think the Steele announcement that he is going to start talking could blow this part of it wide open.
Well, he's obviously made a strategic decision because he's going to be interviewed by John Durham. It's not the Inspector General from the Department of Justice who's going to talk to him, because he doesn't have any reason to talk to Mr. Horowitz. He's going to talk to John Durham and his people. So there's obviously some sort of deal that's been worked out. This is great news. But according to some reports, there are limitations on his testimony. I can't believe that Durham would agree to such limitations. But this is what's important. He has to tell the truth to Durham, because even though his testimony will be given overseas, he can be indicted in the United States if he lies to Durham. So I assume he's going to tell the truth, because this is the big casino now. And what he's going to prove is that the FBI lied in the FISA warrants, and they lied to Congress, and they lied to everybody about what they knew about Steele's behavior. This is the walls are beginning to close in on the FBI fraudsters.
Okay, and we talk, Sarah, a lot about an avalanche cascading down. This is only a small part. By the way, what is taking Michael Horowitz? Michael Horowitz has like 700 people working for him. When do we get this FISA report finished and completed? Or is it possible he's completed it and handed it over to the Attorney General and we don't know? Victoria's saying no. Why, Victoria?
Because I think that he's run into difficulty in getting some documents from Chris Wray of the FBI. And so that's going to prolong his inquiry. And that's about what he can do, an inquiry. Of course, he can't subpoena anybody and he can't indict anybody.
But he can make criminal referrals, can he not?
He can.
Yes.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah, well, yes, he absolutely can. And I think Victoria is right on the money there. I think he is having some difficulty. We know that he does have 700 investigators. But remember, Sean, Michael Horowitz isn't just focused on the Russia investigation, although that's the main investigation that his team's working on. They're working on a variety of investigations. So this has really taken up the bulk of his time. But every day we get something new, at least I do in my email box, from the Inspector General on other issues that they're working on. And as for Christopher Steele, I think what's so significant here is that he probably worked out some kind of immunity deal before coming here, or before making any statements to investigators or to the prosecutor, whether that be John Durham or somebody else that they have in mind. So think about that. If he did cut an immunity deal, that means he probably has a lot to say.
Okay, but the thing is, he's already been questioned under oath. And when push came to shove, Joe, and he had to tell the truth about the dossier, he ran from it. Otherwise, he would have been held on a perjury charge. And his answer was clear, that he never verified it. He had no idea if any of it was true, maybe 50-50. It was raw intelligence. Meanwhile, the FBI's paying him, Hillary's paying him, the DNC's paying him, and a Russian oligarch are paying him, all for the same lies. And it did get disseminated by the likes of what? Brennan, Clapper? Who else may have, pushed that propaganda out to the American media that were just gullible and hungry for anything that hurt Donald Trump?
Well, there's no doubt that Steele, in his deposition in the London libel case that's been filed against him, made it clear that he had not verified the information in the dossier, that it was all unverified, that he couldn't vouch for it. And therefore, it's pretty obvious that he probably told the same thing to the FBI, and that the FBI knew that it was merely a cover piece for them to use to try and get Carter Page and Papadopoulos and Michael Flynn and everybody else. Listen, make no mistake about it. The FBI at the Comey level, at the senior level, and the senior Department of Justice under Obama were engaged in a criminal conspiracy against the President Trump while he was a candidate, while he was president-elect, and while he was president. That's why John Durham wants to talk to him, because there was a criminal conspiracy led by senior FBI officials. And I just hope all of them, McCabe, Comey, all of them, Baker, just keep talking publicly.
Do they get held accountable? That's what this audience wants to know. That is the single most asked question I get. Because if they're not held accountable, We don't have a constitutional republic. We don't have equal justice.
Couldn't agree
Sean,
more.
I'd like to make, Sean, I'd like to make a legal point about about Steele, and that is all we've heard again and again is that he's a credible person, he's a credible source. Well, I practiced Fourth Amendment law as an assistant U.S. attorney for 5 years, and this is Fourth Amendment law. You don't care if the cop who tells you something is a good person and credible. You care who the cop got the information from, and that it wasn't verified shows the flaw in how the FBI proceeded.
That's really well said. Sarah, go ahead.
And it also shows the flaw in what many of the reports coming out of the media that basically lifted up Steele and tried to make him appear as if he was credible, because those were the only sources of information that we got were from the media that was trying to perpetuate these stories.
All right, great work. All three of you have been phenomenal. Appreciate your insight.